We're live streaming, by the way.
Okay.
Okay. So the first thing we have is a land acknowledgement statement, and Councillor Henry's going to do that for us. Thank you.
Augusta Township acknowledges that we live and work on ancestral territories of Indigenous people. The township recognizes all Indigenous peoples and honors their past, present, and future. The township values and respects their cultural heritages and relationship to the land.
Thank you. Next, my opening remarks. I'll keep it short. I want to thank everybody for the Christmas parade. I helped out with that and participated in Prescott. And we all had a good time at the firefighters awards dinner. So some of us had a better time than others. That's good. It was all rock, hey, John, rock and
ROCK.
So, no, good evening, well, and congratulations to all the firefighters that received awards. And, I think you probably know by now, if we read the papers, we have a new warden. So Mayor Smith Gatke, was elected last Thursday, I believe. So, she now is the warden, so. And she's mayor of Leeds and Thousand Islands, so township. And I think we have one more meeting till Christmas, the Christmas break anyway, so it'll probably be a busy one. So we'll have quite a bit on that agenda. All right. Next I'll go on to the approval of the agenda, and it's moved by Councillor Henry, seconded by Councillor Pate, be resolved that the agenda for November 25th, 2024 be adopted as amended to include the agriculture area review solution and the public works position. So we've added two on there, mostly under administration. So anyway, that's why that reads like that. So does anybody have it? Yes, Diego?
Thank you, Mayor. Can I also add, you should have copies of it to the MOU for the Grenville Snowmobile Association as well too.
It's on the agenda.
Is it already on the agenda? Okay.
Yeah.
Are you- yeah.
Okay, we got, and the Prescott Medical Center request.
Correct, yeah. Busy. Our school down.
Have to read it again, or is members happy with what it said?
We're asking.
Four attachments under
Yeah.
administration. Okay, I call the vote. All in favor? Carried. Yeah. Next, we have the approval of the minutes of previous meetings. So moved by Councillor Henry, seconded by Councillor Bowman, be resolved that council approve the minutes of November 12th, 2024 council meeting as distributed to all members. Anybody have any changes or remove that, please? No comment? Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Okay, does anyone have a disclosure of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof? Would like to report? See or hear nothing? Okay. Any business arising from the minutes? Okay. Business. Next, we have delegations and presentations. So the first one we have is St. Lawrence Academy, and it's Linda and Anika. They're gonna give us a presentation.
Yes, thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor Jeff Schneever and everyone on the council. First of all, thank you so much, everyone, for giving us the opportunity and inviting us to come and speak. We thank Councillor Hendrik Pate for coming to our event and for encouraging us to come here today and just to present what our school is all about. We have been in operation since 2007, starting in Brockville and moved in 2010 to Prescott. It really did open up our student community to envelop more of the community in this area. And probably about 23% of our area students are a part of the Augusta Township from Cardinal, Donville, Algonquin, and all of that area. Another percentage is that about 30% of our students, and the reason why we're here tonight, from our area in Augusta Township and Cardinals Township is our students who need financial aid to be a part of our school. And so we have been, over the last 3 years, there was a task force that had suggested to our board, and myself specifically, that we cut our financial aid opportunities and instead cater to students who can afford to pay the full tuition, because it is a loss to our school's bottom line. What we have is a third-party company from Toronto and Ottawa that will take the parents' financial information and then write to us to let us know what the parents can afford to pay, and then tuition is adjusted to match that. It makes things more affordable, but it also takes away from the tuition income that we would regularly make from full-paying students. The task force had made it a top priority to discuss the financial aid and perhaps even cut it so that we would have a more viable bottom line and budget. Specifically, we were losing teachers because we couldn't afford to pay them more than $40,000 a year. And so that became very serious for me, because some of my most rewarding work in the last 14 years that I've been a part of SLA has been to work with these students who come from poor income families or single parent families who couldn't possibly afford to come to the school. And one of my star students is here tonight, Annika. She actually lives just 2 doors down. She said she could have walked here, which she didn't even know this existed here, but she and many other students have really been the main motivation for myself for being passionate about what we do, because we are at a SLA focused on building leaders for tomorrow. And it is really in my mindset that I don't want all the leaders to be doctors and lawyers' children. I want the leaders to reflect everyday people and everyday situations and bring a diverse experience into leadership. So that is why we're here tonight. I will throw it over to Annika to speak a little bit to this, because she's lived it and breathed it. And currently, I wanted to let you know, we have 18 students on financial aid out of the 56 enrollment from 12 families in the area, including Brockville, Maitland, Donville, Augusta, Algonquin, Cardinal, Kemptville, Iroquois. And so we do bust them out from everywhere, but we want to make sure that those doors are never closed. I've given you some information here, and I'll just throw it to Annika just to give you a little bit, and then you guys can ask some questions if you like.
Oh, hi, my name is Annika. I first came to St. Lawrence Academy in grade 6 after being at St. Mark's Catholic School. I was diagnosed with severe dyslexia at a young age, and I was told that I'd never be able to read. When I came to St. Lawrence Academy, I was not proud of who I was. I didn't think I'd ever be smart or as capable as my peers. But we actually tried to go to St. Lawrence Academy in grade 2, but we didn't know about the scholarship fund, and my family couldn't afford it. So I came in grade 6 after Ms. Joe had told my mom about the scholarship fund. We went, and it was life-changing experience. I had never been in a classroom where I felt more heard or understood. The teachers really took individual time to work with me, as I couldn't read until grade 6 when I went. So they had to go back all the way to like kindergarten, and start with my phonics and teach me like the simple words like the and if, because I couldn't read them with dyslexia. It had kind of the way I read didn't make sense. So like if I were to read the word the, it just wouldn't sound right. It would be like ta, or because I wouldn't understand how to say it properly. So now, because of St. Lawrence Academy, I'm in all academic classes and I'm on scholarships for schools, hopefully. And I'm very excited to continue and become a teacher, because I really think that the education system needs teachers who really care and kind of some more support for those students who have learning disabilities or these boundaries that they can no longer learn from. And truly, I contribute a lot of my success today and who I am as a person to St. Lawrence Academy, because they really brought me back to who I am inside and like built my confidence and really helped me understand that I am smart and I am capable to be just like all my peers and to continue to strive. And I just think St. Lawrence Academy is truly so helpful to all the families that like can't afford it like mine. And I don't know where I would be today if it wasn't for the scholarship fund and SLA and all the amazing opportunities I got from it. Yeah.
Thank you. Very good. So it really is what we do, and we only have 75 spots at the school, but we would like to make sure that these spots are filled with a diverse community, and that we are giving that opportunity, the same opportunity that Annika has said. In a large classroom, there isn't the time or availability for a teacher to spend one-on-one to really cater to a child who has a disability, or even to there are children who've moved into our schools who just aren't on the radar because they don't have a diagnosis, but they aren't being given the time, or they haven't been noticed that they cannot read and write. And this is becoming actually more and more prevalent within the world of education, especially after COVID-19. It feels as though even because of the masks, the proper formation of letters, the differentiation between a sound and a sound which they could not see because masks were covering them. There's more and more students who need that one-on-one help and that one-on-one time. And really what I'm focused on, and I don't agree with the board. I think that we need to have these bursaries and scholarships available. And my job has now transitioned from being a teacher in the classroom to being an advocate for this program and trying to find sponsorship and backing for it financially, so that the board does not see fit to remove the possibility and the opportunity. And that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good presentation. So I'll let the members ask questions. We must have a question.
I'll start.
Yes.
Well, thanks for coming. I mean, I was at the event and I heard Annika's presentation. It was definitely moving. I mean, my mother was a teacher and I know she has the similar values that you guys do. And I know how important it is. Because I know a lot of people that were similar to Annika's position, that thanks to the kind of, maybe it's just the kind of education that we had back then, that it's changed, it's become more factory-like, I guess, now. So I guess my main question is, how can we help? I mean, I'm looking at the brochure you have, and I mean, they have a few different options. So from a municipality standpoint, I mean, we have supported, students at like St. Lawrence, South Granville, I mean, with like field trips and stuff like that. So if a municipality was to put some money towards a scholarship or whatever, what would that look like from us?
Mm-hmm.
And could it be so that we can ensure we go to an Augusta student?
Mm-hmm. And this is what's interesting is I'm really creating the wheel here. We don't have any background or any kind of foundational things, structural things fixed out. I did make this brochure with the options because some families just want to give a blank sum, or some people or towns or corporations just want to give a blank sum and say it's for the scholarships. Others would like a more personal experience, and we do have some families who said, if you support my child, then they'll be giving newsletters and things like that and informational updates. Some people like the face to the sponsorship. Then also there's legacy donations, but that is really for insurance and things like that. And that really isn't something that the town or the township could partake in. Honestly, what we're trying to do is raise $68,000. That's the amount of scholarships we've given out this year, 68,000 and change. And what we're trying to do is find the financial backing to cover that loss. So far, we've been able to raise 18,250 in scholarship support. And so we will be visiting the townships that we are affecting. You would be a part of our newsletter to get updates on how the students are doing. I've given you the school newspaper, which is completed by the children and with all the children's writing. That kind of update and that kind of information would be readily available to you just to keep you updated on the difference that you're making in these children's lives. And then we would reach out personally to anyone living in your vicinity from your area of coverage. And we would have specific newsletters and information from those students for the township.
Yeah, any other questions? No? Well, I just want to say, first of all, Nika, you are the success story. So, keep going. It's someday maybe sitting on the board, so I wish you the best of luck, but you did a great job up there, so just
Thank
keep that
you.
up. But no, I must admit, I knew very little. I have a cousin and his children go to the school. That's about all I knew about the school. And I drive by and you have the what is that? I'm trying to dream, deliver, something.
So close. Drive, learn, achieve.
Yeah.
SLA, yeah.
Anyway, I see that.
Oh, dream and deliver too, yeah.
So, no, I think it's great, and I see the kids outside playing too, so I know it's a good school, so, and especially with the newsletters and everything else, so. No, we will certainly take it under consideration, we won't give an answer tonight,
Nope,
naturally.
yeah.
We've had several delegations in the past asking for money, it's difficult these days. We got a Prescott Health team that wants money, we got the food banks wants money, but, this area is pretty good at looking after everybody, so. Anyway, we'll see what we can do, and, our staff will be in touch at a later date. But, thank you very much.
Well, I thank you for the opportunity. It's wonderful to start having these connections, so thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, next we have the first impressions presentation, and Nancy Gauthier, from Township of North Stormont, and Alex DeWitt. Sorry.
Macro.
Good
I'm
evening,
sorry.
council. How are you?
Good.
So I've been asked, I believe that the absence of my colleague has been explained to your CAO and your clerk. And I'm here to help facilitate or represent the township. Mr. DeWitt has graciously offered to present the visit, and I will add a few comments from some of the participants that were present on that date. So I'll give the floor to Mr. DeWitt, and we'll go from there.
Thank you.
Hi. So yeah, I'm Alex DeWitt. I'm a representative from OMAFA, the Ontario Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Agribusiness. And actually, as of, I believe today, I'm actually now working for the Ministry of Rural Affairs, which is the new ministry that was announced Friday, publicly announced Friday. So here we are. We have an updated presentation. Is it all right if I share my screen instead?
We can try it, yep.
Is that working on your side?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, so I cannot see you, so somebody please, like now that I'm in presentation mode, somebody please let me know if there's any questions or if there's anything happening, because I'm not looking at the screen anymore. So thank you. So FICE stands for the First Impressions Community Exchange Program. I'll go over what is the plan for this presentation. Here's a quick look at the agenda, but we'll be coming back to this later on. Well, going through this. So what is a FICE? FICE stands for First Impressions Community Exchange. Basic idea is that we have two communities participate in this program. We send a group of volunteers from community A to community B. We have them kind of fill out a survey when they're there. Oh, I see my thing is changing on its own now, not my plan. The goal is to have you guys go through, fill out a survey while you're there, and report back. This is the report back day. So in this situation, we had a group come from North Stormont to Augusta County. Just a little bit about North Stormont to give you guys an understanding of where the group is coming from. There was one major group that went. The age range of the volunteers were between 40 and 50. The group was mainly ministry staff, or sorry, township staff and local business owners. Whole thing took about 5 hours, and they did it on October 4th, which is, I understand, was a nice sunny day. Impression from the visitors. Visitors thought that Augusta Township was a small rural community nestled between Prescott and Brockville with a very touristy flair. They were expecting a typical Highway 2 community. And on the Friday, early October, they expected to see some fellow tourists, some walking, some biking, etc. Enjoy the foliage and day trip attractions, taking into account that it was a Friday and not the weekend. They were curious going into this about the utilities and the small businesses operating in the community, and we're looking forward to the beautiful day. This is their idea before they left. During the visit, the feedback they gave was that it was a beautiful community, lots of nice historical sites. One of the comments was not many reasons to get out of the car while visiting. Sites can be appreciated from the car and towns can be driven through easily. No bike lanes were visible and noted, and very quiet. Not a lot of cars, not a lot of people, that kind of stuff. Visual appearances of the entrances, very welcoming, very clean. Signage of the towns were very small and difficult to find, especially as they were looking for specific things within the town. Really liked the have a good day and drive safe things that hung underneath the signs. Thought that was very cool. Houses were very clean and very well maintained. This included exiting older homes, retirement housing, new construction apartments, rental housing, all the above. Streets and sidewalks they found very clean and very in good conditions. Many green spaces and parks. Limerick Forest was amazing, but could use more signage to attract people. But again, they found that was one of the places they found difficult to find. All visitors found that the public and active transportation needed improvement. Cyclists in our group noticed no wide shoulders on the roads for cycling, which can be problematic if you're a cycler. They visited the local office. They thought it was great. Staff was really helpful, really kind, nice. Given a short tour of the office, everything they thought was very useful, very, no complaints. Visitors so they noticed that there's not really any schools in the area, at least not that they saw. Or sorry, they saw one school, which seemed very clean and very welcoming, but only the one. Sorry, my mistake. Health services, limited, right? They appreciate that visitors could not locate any hospital, clinic, or pharmacy. One visitor made a comment that he presumed that most residents went to neighboring towns for healthcare related issues. Visitors visited outside only the 2 fire departments and found them to be greatly located, so no concerns about the emergency services. Visitors noted that the community centers look nice and very welcoming with great baseball and soccer fields, hockey rink, etc. With lots of green space, the centers were locked and they couldn't go inside that day. But again, understandable. Downtown impressions, visitors didn't really see a downtown, as I'm sure you're aware of, but found all the communities to be very clean and very charming. Street signage, crossing sidewalks were all very well maintained. Visitors noted that there weren't many retail and services within the community, with the exception of a few chip stands and small stores. Visitors mentioned that the professional services were lacking, but noted that these would probably be accessed in Prescott or Brockville as a surrounding community. Local businesses and restaurants. Visitors enjoyed their lunch at the Dairy Barn and Western Grill. Staff were friendly and made good conversation. They really enjoyed the lunch, they said. From my memory serves. Visitors were told about the business park, but had a difficult time trying to find the entrance to the business park. Drove by a huge factory, but couldn't find a way into the area to see if there were any other manufacturers. I think this may have been the mushroom farm that they mentioned. Again, talking with Dan before he had left, I believe that's what it was. And it didn't seem like there were any public transportation, which again is very typical of a rural community, any rural community. Tourism and recreation. One visitor noticed there were many beautiful homes, but not many businesses for tourists to stop at and visit. Visitors really enjoyed the forest, Limerick Forest. It wasn't busy, so it gave them time to explore and take in the nature. Being on the St. Lawrence, one of the participants commented that being on the St. Lawrence River probably provides numerous options for recreation. They visited in the fall, they didn't really have much opportunity for that. Not a lot of interest going into the water on October 4th. Heritage, a lot of history in the community, a lot of buildings that were old buildings, historic buildings that were greatly maintained and in great shape. They really enjoyed the Blue Church Cemetery and the Blue Church Church. Lemon Point Beach was also really nice. Maitland Tower was very, very cool, and visitors enjoyed being there and being able to go and like walk around and enjoy it. They thought that was particularly interesting. Recommendations. So take a little bit of more advantage of some of these business opportunities. So people are getting out of the car to look at your historic sites, look at the forest, find a way to link that with business opportunities, whether that be a food truck or a restaurant or whatever have you. Increase signage to towns and places of interest. As I mentioned, they found the signs were very small and very difficult to follow. The example being the business park. They knew that it existed. They were told to look for it and still had a very difficult time finding it. Consider taking advantage of the bicycle-friendly tourism and agritourism. So that's that wider shoulder piece. There is quite a bit of tourism, especially coming out of Montreal these days, coming into Ontario for better roads and for these attractions. And looking at historic sites that are relatively spread out is one of the key things that takes that in. But then they also have to find a way to, eat lunch and to spend money and do these things. So that's part of that. Link to the St. Lawrence River with potential businesses. So look at things like boating related businesses, fishing related businesses, any other opportunity to exploit people that are coming in to use boat launches and to enjoy the river. Linking up with the Thousand Islands, mentality, not far from you guys. And then encourage more sit-in food businesses and restaurants in the area. Because what they found was very limited and a lot of tip truck kind of things. I would also add the potential to look into Airbnbs. That's an Alex DeWitt statement as an OMAFA, not a North Stormont. But if you've got a lot of homes and beautiful homes and potentially seniors living in the area, that might be an opportunity to encourage some of them to use some of those old properties and beautiful spaces to get new people into the community as well. Wrap up, visitors expressed that it was beautiful, peaceful, touristy with opportunity to grow. One of the visitors said everything was great. Limerick Forest was probably everyone's favorite. All places suggested to us were places that are landmarks. They didn't get to see many businesses or people that could have conversation with or ask questions. That may have been due to it being a Friday afternoon, but it may also have just be the nature of the community. No one really is certain on that one in terms of the visitors. And all the visitors said they would return and would speak highly about Augusta Township to their friends and family and encourage them to visit because it really was an enjoyable experience for them. So with that.
And I'm just going to interrupt through you, Mr. Mayor. I had the opportunity tonight to speak to one of the participants, and she was very, very gung-ho about revisiting your area. And I've been in the area a few times, and it's a beautiful place to say the least. They were very impressed with the positive signage that you had in your township. Again, the size was a factor, but they felt they were actually feeling like, oh, what's the next one going to say? They got a little excited as they progressed to the township. And I've noticed that some of them were safety messages. So regardless of what they said, they were looking forward to them. The other thing that they recommended, and they wanted me to speak to it at our township, is the resident's guide. Really left a lasting impression on them. They've actually left the book with us and would like to see us adopt it. So I look forward to seeing it. I don't know what kind of impact it will have on our council and our staffing here, but I will definitely bring it forward as requested. So that was the feedback that I was able to get today from from one of the participants. Thank you.
Well, that's great. Thank you very much. I'm just gonna ask the members here if they got any questions or comments. Adrian?
I just got a comment. I did the North Stormont tour and you guys have an equally nice community. We were well entertained that day.
Oh, well, good. Thank you. I'll relay the message, sir. Thank you.
Anybody else? No, I just have to say myself that you hit a lot of things right on the nose, like more signage. The little signs you saw, it says drive safely and have a nice day. They're actually a purpose of those because they're half load signs. So rather than put up half load signs in the spring, we just flip a little dial at the top of the sign and it goes down to half load. So so that was a little trick our public works manager put into effect, and we get comments about it, which is nice. And other people will give us other comments if they had a rotten day at work. So it works both ways. So. But no, we like I said, a lot of things you mentioned, more signage naturally. Yeah, the industrial park is, and the business park is fairly spread out. And as far as basically businesses, yeah, we have something like 195 businesses in our township, but they're all spread out and they're all, it's not, we don't really have a center or a core. But we're starting to grow a little bit, so that's good. No, we appreciate your comments. Thank you. Okay, I guess I'll, there's no more questions or comments from the council. Well, thank you very much, Nancy and Alex. So we will get a copy because I know our Economic Development Tourism Committee would like to have the report too. I think they meet next week. So no, I think it's great. It's a great exercise that put on because you know, I'm going to someone else's homeland, you might say, and taking a look at it. And it's all beautiful country we have here and there. Ontario is a great place. So anyway, that's thank you very much.
All through you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much for having us, and we look forward to seeing you in a very short time. I'm here.
Okay, yes, thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, next we have correspondence and petitions. We don't have any, I believe. And we'll go on to reports. The only thing I have to report, we only had one meeting. That was basically inauguration of the new warden. So you all know who the new warden is. So that was it. So conservation authorities, Deputy Mayor.
Okay, at our last meeting, Foundation passed their budget and Mark will soon be getting the budget. And it worked out to 2.9, plus 1.5% for growth. So, and Augusta was one of the areas that had a growth in assessment.
Excuse me, questions?
2.9 and 1.9?
And 1.5 for growth. 2.9%, and Ottawa set that, Ottawa set the 2.9.
And Rideau Valley?
Rideau Valley, we've got a meeting coming up on Thursday, and that budget's on the table for that.
Okay. Any questions for the Deputy Mayor? Okay, good. Next we'll go on to recreation. Recreation meetings, anybody? Yes, Councillor Henry.
Your worship, we had a meeting, it's almost 2 weeks ago now, on the 13th. There was lots of discussions getting ready for winter and having the rink prepared, so it's, ready for the kids. And they were discussing their wish lists and just cleaning things up and getting the building situated, and it was a good meeting.
Councilwoman?
I wasn't at the last work meeting because it was the night we had our council meeting, but Kathleen was there, and what they wanted me to share was they're having a Women's Wellness Day on February 8th. I'll mention that again. At the markets from 9:30 to 3:30. They do have a flyer on the Recreation, Maitland Education and Recreation Facebook page. So you need any information, look it up on there. Also, a reminder that their Christmas party for the kids is December 8th from 2 to 4 at the Merck Hall, and there's also a flyer on their website as well.
Okay, any questions for Councilor Bowman? Anybody else? Councilor Fay?
Your worship, we met, Kathleen and I met with Roebuck, also about a couple weeks ago now. Just went over the lease and, took a couple of questions back to staff, which, hopefully we'll have answered shortly. We'll be meeting again in January, but among the other things we discussed, they did have feedback, after reservations in the spring. They were actually very satisfied with the grass cutting. It went really well. There was just some concerns about, they gotta make sure it's cut before a wedding, not cut when they're all showing up. And they were very happy and everything was done really well this year. So that's, good feedback to get. Talked a little bit about their wish list. They don't have a whole lot on their wish list other than a floor cleaner that they're looking at. Kathleen advised that the building needs extensive work for, fire code reasons that, need to be done. So that will take up a good chunk of the amount of money that they would have for wish list, but, bookings are going well, and they've had, both elections groups come in and do tours for potential polling sites. So, finer things to come, I'm sure.
Anyone else? Okay, library.
My meeting's tomorrow night.
Morning.
Yep.
Okay, Economic Development Tourism Committee, Councilor Henry, anything? No?
Your worship, no, they have a meeting next week.
Right. Next we have the PAC, Planning Committee, Deputy Mayor.
Well, we have another meeting set, but we're not sure if we're gonna have the, we may get a holiday. Partially because of the mail strike, the counties can't do their advertising for samples.
Police Services Board. So, we kind of postponed our meetings because not everybody's up to date on their training, so. We, and it's frustrating because it isn't a good training, how can I say, program they set up. You kind of struggle through it. Anyway, our chair, our former chair, Glenn Mackey, said, I'm not gonna struggle through it, so he resigned from his police services board. So, anyway, after 14 years being on the board, he says it's time to move on with something else. And Glenn's on the planning committee and other things too, so. He said at 81, it's just, I'm not going back to school. Spend hours and hours at the computer, so. Anyway, we'll probably get him here. Excuse me. Next meeting and give them a certificate and wish them the best sort of thing. So that's our plan. So we schedule a meeting for sometime in January. And hopefully we can have everybody trained and we can have the meeting. So you just can't have a meeting until you're trained. So anyway, that kind of sums that up. Administration, so we've had about 4 items of administration here, so I'll let the CAO take that away.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So first item is a follow-up to our Tri-Council meeting we had last week, in which the Prescott Medical Center came and did a delegation to the 3 townships. Certainly tonight is The direction was to bring it back to every respective township and have a discussion. Council will see that the request is at this time, $7,225.81. They did indicate at their delegation that, they'd be looking for a 3-year commitment. But what I would recommend to council this time is 2-year commitment. The last thing we want to do is infringe upon a new council, in 2026, to have them, forced to pay that in 2027. So, certainly open tonight for council for any discussion or any questions, but certainly this will be included in the 2025 budget if council chooses. The one thing I would probably recommend is that we come up with some sort of an agreement with the Prescott Medical Center if council chooses, where whether it's an MOU on what the conditions will be if we provide them with money. But certainly that's open to council for discussion.
Good. I'll go ahead and read the motion. Moved by Councillor Bowman, seconded by Councillor Henry, whereas the Prescott Medical Center provided delegation on November 19th, 2024 Tri-Council meeting, and whereas council directed the respective staff to bring a resolution to the respective council. Therefore, be it resolved, the council approved the amount of $7,225.81 to be donated to Prescott Medical Center for the 2025 and 2026 calendar year to provide financial assistance for the increase in rent and to reduce the amount of overhead to the current positions. So, comments? Yes.
Yeah, the one thing, I wonder is, they said if they lost a doctor, then the place wouldn't be viable. It had to stay at 3. So if something unfortunate happened and they moved out, if we pay them the money now, are we committed to pay for the full 2 years? Or do we do it on a monthly basis? Or if they, for some reason, do close up, then we're not committed?
For you, Mayor. So certainly I think that's why we need to have an MOU which sets out the expectations and what we're getting as far as a service for that donation. So we could have a clause in there that if, a doctor does leave, it could jeopardize the family health team. But also they indicated at the Tri-Council is if they get another doctor, they wouldn't require the funding anymore. So, we can certainly put that language in there that protects us on both ends.
Yes.
So kind of, following up on what Deputy Mayor was saying, there were some discussions after the presentation last week where maybe to do something with kind of the wording where the second payment, maybe they come to us with a bit of an update saying, hey, this is where we're at. I say I'm good with committing to it with conditions. That they come back, update us, let us know where we're at. Because it's, I think it's important that the clinic is there and that these services are there for the residents. And I know the residents of this area do use it, but it is taxpayer money and I want to make sure that it's done correctly. And, you don't want to open the door to everybody coming in and say, hey, you want to help us out with our rent? We want to make sure that it's done correctly and that, if they, as Adrian said, get another physician in there, don't suddenly find another reason why they need that money. Right, so that's my standpoint on it.
Definitely.
Yeah, and something, I don't know if all of council knows this, when we were at the Economic Summit, Steve Clark mentioned that this area was one of the 4 areas in Ontario picked for the READY program. So they're supposed to bring 200 doctors, between doctors, nurses, PSWs, into this area. So they could very well get a doctor into that program.
Yeah, they certainly could end up working for the Prescott Family Health Team, so.
Yes.
Again, I echo whatever these guys have said, hopefully with, and it's just not our area that, is suffering for this, it's all over. So hopefully with this READY program that we will get a couple of new doctors in here. And a bunch of the comments that were made at the Tri-Council was it's too bad that they have to come to us for this. But then we don't really want to sacrifice what we have. So I agree with the gentleman that, yes, I would agree to it with conditions.
Anybody else? All right, I think what we're gonna do tonight is agree on giving the financial part of it, and the CAO can work on MOU with it, and I'm sure the other counselors are saying exactly the same as what we're saying. Because I think they'll sign off on it too, and then, yeah,
If council's good with it, what we can certainly do is let them know that in principle, we agree with the donation. And we'll draft a MOU to bring back at the final council meeting in December. And if council's good with all the terms and conditions in there, then we can get them to execute it and have that kind of start for January of next year.
okay, so I'll call the question.
Through your worship, does the CIO want to add an extra line to the resolution to direct staff to draft an MOU with terms and conditions for consideration?
Sure, that certainly works too.
Yeah, I'm gonna quicker. Okay, what we added, the council directs staff to draft a MOU with terms and conditions for council's consideration. Happy with that? Call the question? All in favor? Okay, thank you. Okay, next one.
Next one, Mayor, is the.
Granville Snowmobile Club, I think.
Should be the first thing, person. Yes, the Grenville Snowmobile Club, a gentleman came in the office last week looking for the township to sign an MOU to basically allow them the use of the township lands, which are basically the lands here and the field to the north, as well as the Maynard Park. The map is attached. So they're looking for council to approve it. I did reach out to our insurer. Based on the fact they're gonna provide us with a $50 million policy and include the township as an additional insurer. They have no issue with council executing this. And certainly it's probably the standard amongst a lot of municipalities where they cross municipal land. So if council is good with this, I can certainly execute this. I guess the question for council would be is, do you want this term to come back to council every year? Do you want to execute it for a 5-year period, 10-year period? It's certainly up to council how they want to go about this.
Well, I know with my own case, when they were going across my property, they had to come back every year.
Okay.
They had to come back,
Yep.
so, they didn't.
Yep.
But I was happy with that. Anyway, so.
Yeah, so we can certainly make this a year to year if council wants to, where they come back every year and request it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I mean, I think the onus is on them. I think they have to come back every year, so.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. Is there any hours of operation on this?
Nothing at all, no.
So, I mean, I don't know if we'd have any concerns with the residents if they start going at 2 or 3 in the morning or.
Certainly, it's something I can certainly bring up to them for sure.
yeah,
That's the only place I think we may have a conflict if they were, I mean, I know they're supposed to say a certain speed, but they don't.
but the truth with you, last year they were cutting across.
Yes.
Thank Council Henry.
Through your worship, so this is the first time they've come to us. I don't remember them coming last term. And like you said, they've used the
Yeah.
property all this time.
Yeah, so this is certainly something that we can ensure that they come back annually and provide council even with some stats and stuff like that.
Okay. So Moved by Counselor Henry, seconded by Counselor Bowman, be resolved that council authorizes the clerk to sign a memorandum of understanding with the Granville Snowmobile Club, giving them permission to use the municipal properties located in Maynard, roll number, oh God, 0706000001507901 and 0706000015079002 as part of their snowmobile trail problem. The dates, effective this year
I
or?
would say
Even
I think
December first, probably.
January, maybe for this year, and then January to January.
I would say probably December 1st to the end of March of next year as the full winter cycle, and then we'll have them bring it back again in the fall, like
December 1st, 2025, yeah. Right.
No, I think the CIO was indicating that just do it for the winter season, so March 31st, 2025.
And certainly that will probably play depending if we get snow in mid-April, then of course that will probably extend a little bit longer, but
Okay, I put those dates down. Of course, I had to go to the, get my eyes checked this morning, so I got that fluid in it. Anyway, okay, any other, call the question? All in favor? Carry. Okay, next one.
next one, the agricultural area review. So we have received correspondence from the counties, as the mayor will know, is that they are bringing it back to the local municipalities at this time to get more input, so they can determine the next steps on it. Certainly what they're looking for right now on the lower tiers is whether or not we still have any issues that we're dealing with, or any concerns on any of the proposed agricultural area designations. So, Melissa's here tonight, certainly can speak a little bit to it if you want, but certainly looking for some guidance from council if they're satisfied with our mapping and how it was delivered, and whether there's anything else we want to add to it, or if we're fine with what we have, and we can certainly correspond that back to the counties and advise them that we're satisfied with the current mapping, so.
Okay, I'll read the, moved by Council Bowman, seconded by Council Henry, be resolved that council recommends to the United Counties of Leeds and Grenville that there are no areas of concern for addition or removal in Augusta Township of proposed agriculture area designation and the agriculture area review. Okay, discussion.
Yeah, I think we had most of all our concerns heard, and I don't think, remember Melissa, anybody was still upset on.
After your worship, no, I don't have anyone who's still concerned about the mapping. The township, from my perspective, has done a fairly thorough job of the review of it. The deputy mayor did sit on the technical steering committee with me through this process, and we did report back to council on it. We've also had ratepayer sessions where they were able to come and meet with the consultant of the county. Anyone who they were able to remove at the outer limits were removed, including a large area to the east side of Charlieville Road. And anyone who was going to be included in the new area that was interested in severing, we had encouraged them to sever. There's been a few severances since then. So I'm not aware of anyone else having concerns or much communication in the last few months on the project. And I believe that the township did a pretty good job reaching out and putting it in our quarterly and on the website of trying to let our residents know the best we could, so.
Any other comments? I totally agree. I think we did a great job, so thank you very much. So, I'll call a question, all in favor? Here. Okay, next we have is, through all these amendments here, Public Works position.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor and Council. So certainly, some good news from my perspective tonight is, over the last year and a half, John Static has been our acting Public Works Manager, and as council will probably see as well too, talking to staff, he's done a tremendous job on bringing up not only Public Works, the culture within the organization, but also, steering the employees and getting things done within the township. So certainly excited tonight that, effective immediately, we're removing the acting title from John. And certainly he'll be moving forward as our Public Works Manager, moving forward. So congratulations, John. Thank you. A lot of hard work, and, you know that we'll continue bringing forward, good things to the township. So.
Good.
Yep.
I agree. Any comments? Yes.
He was the best actor we had. Best actor Saturday.
And, I'll apologize for the way this kind of turned out. It's been so long. But, our hands were kind of tied, so, but hey, you're doing a great job, so keep up the good work, and, glad to have you. So,
Thank you, team.
And the pictures.
anything else, administration?
Yeah, just a few quick updates, just let the council know that, we are, hopefully by next week, we'll have a property for sale sign up on our 77-acre property. And inviting anybody that's interested in residential, commercial, or industrial development to contact the township office and speak with Melissa or myself, where we can help them hopefully guide and have some development on our 77 acres. And for the mayor, I know it's not there yet, but we're working on it. We plan to do the foundation investigation on the 401 in early December to get our MTO signs up, hopefully, have them up by the early spring of next year.
You know, Frost doesn't sit in until January.
But we're working as hard as we can. We had a meeting with MTO this afternoon, so things are moving. You'll be the first to know once they're installed.
Thank you.
And that's everything, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next we have under operation. Moved by Councillor Henry, seconded by Councillor Bowman. They resolve the council endorses the implementation of a revised bag tag system for residential waste. So we have a report on that. So comments, questions? Yeah, Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, I was looking over at Edwardsburg Cardinal, I come in, I sat with CEO on Edwardsburg Cardinal, budget. And it's a little confusing on how to find exactly. I didn't get all the numbers, but it looks like they are a fair bit lower than us for a full garbage pickup. Whereas from what we're looking at is 1.8 million, theirs is 900,000. So half of what ours is, and they have roughly the same size township, same population. I don't know if they have 3,000 houses or not, but, and, the other comment was like Edwardsburg Cardinal, rather than tags, they have bags. So whether I know you said you pay more for clear bags, and then you gotta buy a tag on top of it, just buy the bag that's already an Augusta bag. I don't know what they charge, what they cost in Edwardsburg Cardinal.
Prescott used to have the same thing. They used to have their own bags too. They went to the tags, so. Yes,
Through the mayor, I am an Edwardsburg Cardinal resident, and it's $2.50 for a bag. They're purchased at the dollar store, or you can get them at the township office.
Yeah, but what does that bag cost the township to buy? Like the tags would cost us $5,000 to buy the tags.
I'm not sure exactly. I mean, so basically it just says, I'll tell you honestly that they're kind of weird shaped bags. It's hard to fit two of your garbage bags inside there because of the way they're almost square as opposed to round. So it is a little cumbersome that way, but they're very easy to get, and you don't have to remember to put a tag on in the morning before you put the garbage out.
Yes.
When I looked this over, one of the questions that I have for the CAO this afternoon was in the first paragraph. It says that curbside collection would be feasible without a significant tax increase to all residents. So I asked him if he had an idea on what that significant increase would be to residents.
I'm sorry, yeah, so through your mayor, so certainly, based on the pricing that we got between $450 to $600 per household, if we were to absorb that through our taxes, you're probably looking anywhere between 15+%, just alone on tax, your tax increase. To kind of go back a little bit to the deputy mayor, I certainly had a conversation with the CEO from Edwardsburg Cardinal this afternoon. And you certainly are right, their cost to do it is certainly less than what we're getting. They charge for every bag that goes out, so $2.50 goes out. If I look at their budget from last year, they brought in about $360,000 in revenue from the bag tags. And their cost based on their budget for garbage pickup was about $445,000. So, you know, certainly doesn't pay for it all. Some of it does go on the tax levy, but certainly, you know, for discussion tonight with council is, you know, the report we provided does give some relief to residents as far as the minimum amount, 60 bag tags per year. With the option is people who use more garbage would pay certainly more to the taxes. But certainly, I guess for council is where does council wants to go with garbage collection? Do they want to see garbage collection for all of the township? Do you want to see garbage collection for certain villages? Do you rather not do garbage collection and look at doing a bag tag? Because the cost that we're getting right now, contractors are not really going to take the time to really give us a definite cost because there is a lot of time involved in it. So certainly if council wants to go down the garbage collection, then I think we need to prepare a tender and get that tender out to get an actual price. But, you know, $445,000 for Edwardsburg Cardinal. When I was in South Dundas, we paid about 1.1 for garbage collection. City of Brockville is
2.15.
2.15. So it's all over the place. And certainly it depends on your contractor, depends on how much driving they have to do, what kind of schedule we set. So there's a lot of variables that can make up the cost for sure.
Well, Brockville's 23,000.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to compare. South Dundas is half of Dundas County.
Yeah.
So it would be like having Edwardsburg, Cardinal, Prescott, and Augusta all together.
So South Dundas had about 4,400 households compared to our 3,200. So of course they would be more, but you're talking, you know, quite a double and a half, you know.
The other thing we talked about before, and that is when Fast Eddie's contract is over.
Yep.
So that's when I thought we were maybe gonna look at garbage pickup, because you can't really do it before then anyway.
Right.
And then, because it depends too on what Fast Eddie wants in a new contract. He may want a great big increase too, so. Yeah,
Yeah, and certainly the other element too is that if we go with garbage pickup, we still have to keep the transfer station open. We still have to staff the transfer station, right? Because we do brush, we do all those type of services that we still want to provide. Plus, if people want to bring additional garbage to the transfer station, we certainly have to do that. So we've got we've got an ECA at the Maynard and we've got the C of A at North Augusta right now. So those would have to be managed as well too. So just because we get garbage collection doesn't mean the transfer station goes away. So there's almost an added cost or a double cost too.
Councilor Payne?
Hi, thank you, Worship. Also, it's also worth considering or mentioning that with the changes to recycling, it's entirely possible that Fast Eddie might just say, we're done.
Absolutely.
And walk away.
Yeah.
Right, so then now we have to look at staffing a transfer station ourselves, which we may need to do anyway. I mean, having been a long time ago, I don't know if I want to put a number, I was actually on the waste management committee of the city of North Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, waste management's never fun to talk about, ever, because it's an expense, you know, and you're never gonna make money off of it, so it's just a matter of finding a solution that's going to A, keep the taxes as low as we can. B, keep our costs as manageable as possible. And then C, provide the services that we can best offer for that cost. So that's kind of where I'm at. One question I did have, right now, I know for Maynard, we have a bin for bad plastic, which usually has about double the amount of plastic in it than the actual plastic bin does, which is considered garbage. I'm assuming that's not gonna change. If we start with this bag tag program, people are going to the dump, that stuff is still gonna go in the bad plastic and they won't have to worry about then bagging it and tagging it.
So through your worship, there is some of those bad plastics, like the strawberry film that it currently goes in the bad plastic, that will be now within the container plastic within the recycling. So there is some bad plastics that will be transferred over, and that's one of the ones that the blueberry, strawberry kind of, and sorry, excuse me, for the container ones, also fibers. So the other one's fibers, cardboard, your milk containers, so the cartons are also gonna be added into the fibers now, instead of the old bad plastic where it went.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is some stuff that's going to be taken out of the recycler, the bad plastic and garbage fibers to be added to these new stream 1, stream 2s.
So I guess the key question, like, we roll out these tags, I have a feeling, a very strong feeling that this is gonna be an inevitability, that we're really, it's just how we do it. But so when they go there, and let's say half the plastic that they have is bad plastic, they're not suddenly gonna be told that you gotta bag it up, buy a tag and put it in the garbage. Or we don't know.
We don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing with the new regulations coming for the blue box is, of course, as under this agreement, we certainly get money every month to manage the blue box. But we will be charged for any contaminated recycling or any bad plastic, right? So to me, it's all about education, right? Is educating residents on what's good, what's not, and if it's not good, recyclable, it's gotta go in the garbage.
Councilor Hunter?
Your worship, so then at the transfer station, there'll be new signage put up to state all of this stuff so they know what they're doing. I know that's a big complaint that I hear a lot when we go there. And I think I'd be more supportive of bags than tags, thinking it might be easier for their staff too. They're just seeing a bag. They don't have to fight with people to see if they have tags or check everybody that closely.
One other thing, change I would like to see, if one night they could stay open until say 8. So it's maybe from noon to 8 for one day a week. So there's a lot of people, they work and they can't go during the week. Saturday morning, they get stuck in the lineup or they don't get to go at all.
Yeah, and certainly we had that discussion last week when we met internally staff, is that looking at trying to have even a couple nights or a couple, maybe like a spring, summer and fall where we stay open a little bit later, just like you said, Deputy Mayor, is to, you know, even just 6 or 7 o'clock allows people to come home and dispose of their garbage rather than a Saturday or whatever like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a comment, if my wife told me to go to the landfill site at 7:30 at night after a hard day's work, I'd go to the nearest bar. Might do both, but I wouldn't do it. Yeah, anyway, that's me. But I think I'm most husbands. They wait till their convenient time, which is Saturday. Yeah.
But, your worship, when you've got kids in sports, Saturday morning is busy. And you've got your garbage built up from all week, well, you can't go Saturday. They're not open on Sunday. Gotta stay for the next week, but maybe your kid's not in sports.
Sports are.
And then you get the wife telling you, you didn't do the garbage.
You're not gonna win. Lord.
No, you won't win that one.
They changed their own.
So, what was it? Just, I got a couple of comments. One is, it's not really a comment, but Saturday, 2:00 came and their cars were right up to the road. So I went in the lineup and believe it or not, the line went through. I think we were done in like 8, 10 minutes. So it wasn't a problem. But almost all afternoon, I don't know what it was about that Saturday, the cars were right up to the road. But they were moving just like clockwork. So I was glad to see that, so. And the other thing is, this is our second meeting on bag tags. The word is out there. I've had 3 people come up to me. One, I know quite well, was discouraged with it, but again, we don't supply sewers, water and everything else as we should. And the other 2 where it says, we understand, you know, the costs are going up. So anyway, it's coming what I've heard so far. So what we have to do tonight, we have 3 different options. Council endorses the implementation of the revised bag tag system for residential use. Staff's recommendation. 2, council does not endorse the implementation of the revised bag tag system for residential waste. And 3, council defers back to staff for more information. So again, looking at our gallery tonight, I don't see 10 or 20 people saying this is nonsense, you know? So, and the word is out there, and this, again, this is the second reading, so. All right, what does council want to do?
Your worship,
Yes,
perhaps as both, Danny and I think deputy mayor have been, go back and see if we can get prices on bags and try to get an idea of what that would look like. We know the cost of the tags, but if we find out the cost of bags, and at least have a comparison and see from that point of view. I agree with, Councilor Henry that the bags would definitely be easier for the staff at the transfer stations to spot rather than having to check. I mean, I was down there today, there's only 2 people and, you know, one was dealing with the big household materials bin, compressing it, and the other one was helping somebody with a glass bin, and I was putting my garbage into the compactor and, you know, without hiring somebody else to check every bag for tags, I think having the bags would make it easier, but let's find out what the cost is. So I would say option 3 for me.
okay. And again, just, I know the report, actually, the residents are pretty good at throwing what stuff and what bin. If you stand back and watch them, you're not supposed to, but I did. They're all pretty good, and when they don't know, they ask.
Yep.
Right, so, residents, I don't think you'll have too much of a problem with them at all, so. All right, that's a consensus.
I'd say option 3.
I'd say 3 as well.
So, it's, council refers back, just defer it? Yeah. Call the question? To defer the motion? All in favor? Carried. Yeah.
So Mayor, just,
Yeah.
just for clarification, so council just wants us to bring back what the cost of the bags will be, correct? Is there anything else that council needs, as far as to move this forward or just the bags?
Yes, definitely.
Maybe just a clarification on Edwardsburg Cardinal, a little more clarification on what, you know, why their numbers are way off from ours.
Okay.
So, you know, whether they don't have to, and I think they only have 1 dump right now, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, through the chair. So they have a disposal site on Scott Road, but it's only open Saturday mornings from, I believe, 8 o'clock until 12.
Yeah.
So if you have to drop off brush or anything else, and they do use a card system. So there is someone there that will check out what you're bringing in and will punch it. So there's a 10 card system, and that cost me, I think, $25. So if I want to drop off some goods that were not able to be picked up by the regular garbage, then it will cost me $2.50 every time I go in. So I cut my hedges and I made 4 trips. That cost me $10 to bring that into the dump, but it is only open. I think there was 2 gentlemen there Saturday mornings, and I think it's 9 till 12 or something like that.
It's been like that a long time.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing. If we went to garbage pickup, we wouldn't have to keep our transfer station, only maybe 1 day a week.
Yeah.
I get the intent of staff, but I think this summed up by the first of the year. So, give them direction. Now, one of the other things they may want to ask is why Prescott dropped the bags. As they were given the bags, now they don't. Yeah,
Just kind of wonder, it seems like, I know deputy mayor is kind of interested in getting, sounds like some idea on costing for the curbside, to do a tender, would that take too long? Would that be too long? And if we do it, like, that's usually not an overnight process, right? So we're kind of staring down the barrel, right?
And I think what's gonna happen is you do a tender, you'll find out that the prices will change
Right.
drastically in 6 months.
Yeah, I think, through you, Mayor, I think to do a tender would probably take, from an administrative perspective, would take some time.
Yeah,
But to have the contractors commit to putting their time in to give you an honest price, you have to accept something.
right,
You know what I mean? It's,
yeah,
so there's a lot of time involved for them to, because they're gonna need to get pricing not only for pickup, but what does your fleet look like, what does your staffing look like, insurance, all that stuff. So that takes time for sure. Okay, so we'll bring that back for council on December 16th. And certainly, we're not stuck on implementing this, January 1st. If it doesn't implement till February or March, as long as we get it right and get the communication out, that to me is the biggest important.
Yeah, and just for clarification, I think they still want the clear bags, so I think it was, I don't know if it was Prescott and other community, even a blue stripe across the bag.
Yeah.
Cause all they wanted is from Vision.
Yeah.
Right? So it doesn't have to be, Prescott had blue bag plus yellow writing, it could be a clear bag with just maybe a printed stripe or something rather than a tag.
And just one more thing to the Deputy Mayor's point about reducing the hours. Under our ECA and CFA, we actually have to keep the transportation open for a minimum of hours. So if we actually look at reducing it, we have to go back to MECP and reopen the licensing, which then would probably be a lot more expensive because we're grandfathered in, so it would expose us to a lot more. So just something to know.
Okay, so we're clear under everything? Okay, so, one report 2024-134 building activity report. And as you can see, you got the report there. Moved by Councilor Bowman, second by Councilor Henry, be resolved the council received the building department activity report for October 2024 for information. Any comments, questions? Yeah, call the question, all in favor? Carried. Okay. Next we have report, 2024, the protective services, dash 135, purchase of a compressor. Moved by Councilor Henry, seconded by Councilor Bourne, whereas the CAO and the fire chief informed council of the breathing air compressor equipment failure at November 12, 2024 council meeting, and whereas the procurement bylaw 34-23-2019 states that in certain non-emergency circumstances, goods may be acquired for the maintenance of essential municipal services. Be resolved that council acknowledge the purchase of a breathing air compressor equipment as per a non-emergency circumstance section of the procurement bylaw for essential municipal equipment for the fire department from fire check at an offset limit of $53,300 plus HST. And further be resolved that council authorize the payment through the 2024 fire department budget. Comments, questions? Okay, see none, I'll call the question, all in favor? There. Excuse me. Report 2024-136. Moved by Councilor Bowman, seconded by Councilor Henry. Be resolved that council review and approve the attached update K9 control bylaw. So it's quite a few pages, but any comments, questions? Yes, Deputy Mayor.
My comment is I would not want to be a bylaw enforcement. You're gonna have to do DNA. That's not from my dog, no way.
Any other questions, comments? And the purpose of this staff was just updated.
So this, yes, through the mayor, so this is certainly to update it, remove some of the, just based on some of their counters and stuff with, animal control. So some of the changes they wanted to make. They removed the fencing, the no fencing from the small kennels, as well as there was not a fine in the earlier, bylaw for anybody that does not pick up after their animal. So that's in there as well too. So just a lot of small changes that just, changes or makes the intent of the bylaw a little more clear and enforceable.
Okay, that's good. Any questions? All questions, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. For 2024-137, moved by Councilor Page, seconded by Deputy Mayor Winans. Be resolved that council approves the hiring of a new permanent full-time municipal enforcement officer whose duties will be split between bylaw enforcement and fire inspections. And that council approves the purchase of a half-ton pickup and canine kennel for the enforcement officer to use an upset limit of $80,000. Okay, comments, questions? Yes, Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, when we brought this up before, we said that wouldn't necessarily have to be a new pickup truck.
No, through you, Mayor. So if council approves this tonight, certainly our first intention is to get the ad out and certainly secure somebody that can take over the bylaw enforcement and the fire inspections. As council will recall, is Daniel is leaving, heading to Leeds in the Thousand Islands. So certainly we did share this position with Prescott, 40% for us, 60% for them. But basically, since the fact that our bylaw enforcement has increased substantially over the last year, and with fire inspections becoming more of an issue, we felt this time it would be probably prudent to have a full-time. But certainly that's our first focus, and certainly you're absolutely right, Deputy Mayor. If we could find a good used truck to serve our purpose, we certainly will look at that.
Or along those same lines, not necessarily a GMC Sierra 3500 truck. Maybe a Hyundai,
Yeah.
truck. I'm saying because all he's going to do is driving around. He's not using it for construction.
Correct.
So unless he's got a horse, he's gonna catch it. Anyway, yeah, the 80,000 is a bit high.
Yeah, I just didn't want to tie our hands to. So
Yeah, I
that,
know.
So, certainly council, if they want to certainly amend that to say that, they agree with the hiring and that, council approves the purchase of or direct staff to come back with pricing for a vehicle, if that serves council better.
I know I'm on the Rio Valley board and they put tenders for a used pickup.
Yeah.
Now, they were looking for small truck Ford Ranger, but they got a 2-year-old Ford Ranger for 31,000. It had 15,000 kilometers on it and still had warranty left.
Yeah, so we can certainly look at the dealerships, local dealerships, to see if there's anything that's available that's coming in, or they know of that's coming in. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't have to be, brand new or anything like that.
Yeah.
It just needs to serve the purpose that we need it for.
Yeah, I just didn't see a brand new one, but less of a truck.
Yes, exactly right.
So, so I take it we're just going to cross off the second portion of that?
Yes.
Yeah.
That council directs staff to explore the cost and availability of a used truck.
Sure.
Well, I don't fully agree with that either.
Okay.
Just strike options.
Just strike that out for now and we just.
Yeah, I think we just strike it out. for now.
Strike that second part out, just give us the opportunity to at least to advertise for now, and then we can come back December 16th with maybe some options, whether it's a truck, maybe it's an SUV that has the capability of having an enclosed kennel on the inside. We'll come back with some different options.
Yeah, because I don't know if it's truck is what they really need.
No, SUV at work too.
Cargo van, even.
Yeah, truck and van.
Okay, call the question on the third. Here, thank you. Report. Notice of bylaw, notice of motion, sorry. Notice of motion. One, no. Bylaws. 3743 2024, stop up, close and sell part of a road allowance. And moved by Deputy Mayor Wyman, second by Councillor Pate, be it resolved the bylaw number 3743 2024 being a bylaw stop, close and sell part of the road allowance legally described as road allowance between concession 1 and 2, Township of Augusta, County of Grenville. Designated part 7 on 15R-12483 being part of PIN 681480320 LT be read a first time, second time, and third time being enacted as written. Any comments, questions on that? Yes, Devin.
Yeah, what's the rationale for wanting to sell that road allowance? Because we're only getting $1 for it, but is it just to get rid of liability or to clean things up?
This is the first one, right? It was the, it was,
Yes.
oh, through your worship. So that one was a Deputy Mayor may recall, there was a lot addition. This is the Veenster property. And there was a lot addition of lands onto lands in Prescott where there's gonna be a warehouse development. But we had an unopened road allowance between the lands, so a small portions being closed and conveyed to that property owner to allow the lot addition to happen. So that lot addition did come to the Planning Advisory Committee and Council and got recommendation, but one of the conditions of approval on the severance was that they close that little piece and add it to the property. Otherwise, we'd be creating a separate parcel and they wouldn't be able to actually legally, they're gonna use it for part of their driveway. So, it's not landlocking anybody. It's not really a usable allowance, but, so that's the purpose of it.
Any other questions? Yes, I'll question you all in favor. Carried. Moved by Councillor Page, second by Deputy Mayor Wyman, to be resolved the bylaw number 3744-2024 being a bylaw to stop, up, close, and sell part of the road allowance legally described as road allowance between lots 12 and 13, concession 3, Township of Augusta, Grenville, County of Grenville, designated at parts 3, 4, and 5 on reference plan 15R-12435 being part of a PIN 68167-0409 LT be read first time, second time, third time be enacted as read. Comments, question? Yes, Deputy.
Is this the same?
Through your worship, not exactly.
No.
So this one is, there was an additional road allowance that running, along, Charleville Road, which does, come into the Norton property, which is the location potentially of the cabin, property. So the road allowance is already 66 feet wide, so we don't need that additional widened limit. So it's just, the road allowance is way wider than it needs to be. So, we had deeded it to a few other properties south of that. So they had requested that additional land because the road is already wide enough. So that's the purpose of that one.
Okay, anything else? All questions, all in favor? All right, moved by Deputy Mayor Wyman, seconded by Councillor Pate, be resolved the bylaw number 3745-2024 being a bylaw respecting the regulation, control, protection, and identification of dogs in the Township of Augusta be read a first time, second time, third time, and be enacted as read. Any questions on that? I call the question, all in favor? Carried. Oh, next we have announcements. Does anyone have an announcement? Yes.
Yeah, we've got our Grenville Federation of Agriculture banquet date set for February 28th, 2025.
Yes.
Just a reminder, our food drive is scheduled for this Saturday, from 10 to 1. So it's in the Beacon this week on Thursday, so certainly don't get out just in time for us to start going on Saturday. So we'll schedule some, I'll send an email out later this week on the logistics and where we're gonna meet and do all that stuff, so.
Yeah.
Just a reminder for everyone for the midterm training. you intend to go, and even if you really know you're not going, maybe you can let me know so I can let them know kind of numbers, but thank you, Counselor Payton for signing up already and just as a reminder,
That's Saturday, isn't
it is.
Well, you wanna get some feedback, there's some feedback anyway. Saturday,
Yeah.
you know. Anyway. We have no press, I believe.
No.
So, any questions from the public? Lori, any questions?
I just have one comment regarding our rec meeting. I was kind of disappointed to see that we may not get a wish list this year due to, that, I guess it's the updating of the fire, but the work that has to be done at the hall is like a catch-up thing that's been, I think, missed over the years. So, and that's gonna be a costly endeavor, so she kind of informed us that there may not be the money there in the budget to allow us to give a wish list, so that was kind of disappointing.
Did you provide one anyway?
I think we will, but we'll have to wait till we see our January meeting, because we did have some concerns regarding the lease. And until we hear the reply back, things could change. I'm not saying yes or no.
Yeah, provide your wish list, because it is up to council where the money goes, so.
Yeah.
So I realize there's things that have to be done, but, and staff has an obligation to make sure everything's correct too, so, but we decide up here, so. Okay? Alrighty, next we have a closed session, I believe. So, moved by Councilor Page, seconded by Deputy Mayor Wyman, be resolved that this council move into a closed meeting at, let's do, 7:40 PM. As per municipal act 25, section 2001, section 239, brackets 2, to discuss labor relations or negotiations and staffing. All in favor? Carried. Okay, take a break.
You're good, Mayor.
So moved by Deputy Mayor Wyans, second by Councillor Pate, be resolved the closed session is adjourned at 8:07 PM and that council resumed the open meeting to report out. All in favor? Here, yeah. Moved by Councillor Page, second by Deputy Mayor Wyans, be resolved that council met in closed session to discuss labor relations or employee negotiations. Took no action beyond receiving information from staff. Call question, all in favor? Carried. Yeah. Moved by Deputy Mayor Wyans, seconded by Councillor Pate, be resolved that bylaw number 3746-2024 confirm the proceedings of council of the Township of Augusta at its meeting held on November 25th, 2024, be read first time, second time, third time, and be enacted as read. All in favor? Carried. And moved by Councillor Pate, seconded by Deputy Mayor Wyans, be resolved this council do now adjourn at 8:08 PM. Until December 16th, at 6 o'clock, when it's called the mayor's subject meeting. All in favor? Carried, thank you. Good night.
I'm not.
Hard to see.
Yeah, well, you're that far away.
Yeah.